BMC is using machine learning to help modernize, operate, and explain mainframe systems. Their DevX Code Insights product can analyze and explain legacy COBOL applications and broader AMI platforms and can help explain things like dependencies and failures. BMC presented on AMI last week at the Tech Field Day event that was at Share. And Stephen, you had a front row seat for everything. So I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, it was a really interesting presentation. I mean, many of us in IT are very familiar with BMC. I have been working with the company's products literally my whole career, and so it was interesting to see where they're at in 2024. Of course, it's also interesting to see where the mainframe is at in 2024, and that's why I really enjoy the Share conference. It's the longest running tech conference, almost 70 years now that they've been running this conference, which is just incredible. But essentially, it is the home of mainframe. Now, I came into this too late to be working on mainframe as my primary system. But that doesn't mean that mainframe is irrelevant. In fact, one of the things that really strikes you when you go to Share and when you hear from companies like BMC and Broadcom is just how important mainframe is and remains in enterprise IT. But the problem is a very distinct lack of operators, programmers, managers, essentially skills to tackle mainframe problems. So essentially all these critical resources, especially in things like banking and manufacturing, travel, communications, finance, they are all reliant on mainframe applications, but very, very few people are able to deal with that anymore. That's why it really perked up my interest when I heard what BMC is doing here with the AMI platform. So AMI is, yeah, it's another AI-powered assistant, but they're applying this technology to some pretty relevant use cases. So let's start with DevX Code Assist, which I thought was very, very neat. Essentially, you point AMI at your COBOL that's running on your mainframe, and it'll go through and it'll figure out what the heck is going on. What does this program do? What does this entire application, or even just what does this routine do? And they demonstrated to the field day audience basically using AMI DevX Code Assist to explain a complicated function and then generate some comments that they could inject into the code so that they can leave behind a relic of, what were we trying to do here with this code? It makes it easier to figure out. They can also, of course, help in a kind of co-pilot fashion to create COBOL code, to modify the code, and so on. But of course, you'd want somebody who really knew what they were doing in order to touch that stuff, because this literally the entire world runs on mainframe COBOL even today. They also use the AMI platform to do some other things, which I think are increasingly relevant now that mainframe has sort of settled in as this ultra critical but poorly understood system in modern, the modern world. One of the things that you can do, for example, with the AMI platform is have it analyze the entire system, find faults or potential faults, and explain those to you in real terms and in real words, like why is this system failing? Where would the failure happen? And things like that. It was pretty cool. And also, I have to say, pretty relevant to be able to do this kind of analysis and to return human understandable results that can hopefully set companies on the right path to fixing some of these problems or modernizing or expanding or replacing their code. Now, I would love to speak more about some of the other things that were presented, but just check out some of the presentations from this Share conference. It was really cool stuff.